All right, so we're going to start with this fraction of 10/3. So now we have an improper fraction because we have the 10 cookies being divided by the 3 children. So since it's improper, we know they're going to get some, at least some whole ones. But we've got to figure out what our remainder would be. So we're going to take this 10 and we're going to put it inside of our division box. And so when we do that, we have 10 divided by 3, which is what our fraction is, 10 divided by 3. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say how many 3s can we count to get close to 10. So we would say 3, 6, 9. Absolutely, we're going to use 3. We counted 3 3s because it would be 3, 6, 9. Absolutely. And now we multiply to check it. So 3 times 3 is that 9. So we can subtract. And 10 minus 9 leaves us with 1 leftover cookie. So right now, each child gets 3 whole cookies, but there's 1 left over. And you know, and I know, and we all know that nobody's leaving that cookie on that plate. It better be split. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this 3 up on top and say remainder 1/3. Because our remainder is what is left over. So this 1/3, this is what is left over. And this is what we divided by. So your remainder fraction is your leftover over what you divided by. All right. Let's scroll down. So that one would definitely have been B. So let's scroll down and look at number 2. All right, number 2 says, the math club has 96 members. 1/8 of the members are 4th graders, and the rest are 5th graders. How many math club members are 5th graders? All right, so we're going to take our whole number, which is 96, and we're going to do something to it. So we're going to take, let me slide this paper up just a little bit so we can do number 2, and we're going to say 96 math club. And of those, we're looking for what? Of those are 1/8 is 4th graders. And I'm going to put a parentheses around that 4th so that we don't get confused because that's another number. So we have 96 math club members, and of them, 1/8 are 4th graders. So we got to kind of figure out how many that is. So what does of mean?
Times.
It means times, absolutely. So I'm going to rewrite my fraction where it's easier for me to see. I'm going to say 96 over 1, because I know I can put it over 1, times 1/8. All right, so let's do some identity property. 96 times 1 is 96. I know you know that. And then 1 times 8 is 8. Oh, that's a huge improper fraction. So we have 96 eighths that we got to do some division with. All right, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to rewrite my problem with my division box. And I'm going to write 96 divided by 8 so I can do some work. All right. So here we go. I'm going to do 1 digit at a time because that is such a large number that I have to do 1 digit at a time. So I'm going to say 9 is bigger than 8. So I'm going to start with that 9. How many 8s can I count to get to 9?
Tell me something good.
1. Absolutely 1. So 1 times 8 is 8. And that goes directly under the 9 because that is the only digit I'm working with. And I'm going to subtract. So 9 minus 8 is 1. And now I've done everything I could with that 9. And now I'm going to bring down my 6 because I haven't worked with it yet. And let's be honest, 16 is a much easier number to divide by than 96. All right? So here we go. How many 8s can I count to get to 16?
2.
2. And then I check it. So 2 times 8 is 16. Woohoo! Remainder 0, which means I didn't have to cut any 4th graders in half. Whew, I was worried. So this answer is 12 4th graders. But let's go back to our problem. The problem says how many club members are 5th graders. We found 4th graders, but that's not what it asked me for. And funny enough, that's an answer choice. So some people would stop right there. Be very, very careful that you always go back to your question. And that says 5th graders. So now I can take my total and do what to find out how many 5th graders? Anybody know what I'm going to do to find them in? Aileen, what you think?
You take the 96 and you subtract 12 from it.
Absolutely. I'm going to take my 96 math club people, because that was my total, and I'm going to subtract my 12 4th graders. Okay? So 6 minus 2 is 4, and 9 minus 1 is 8, and that tells me how many 5th graders I have. Now when I go back up to my problem and it says how many math club members are 5th graders, now I have that answer because I know how many 5th graders I have. So be very, very, very careful. You know it's going to try to trick you. All right? Let's go to number 3. All right. Let me move my paper up. All right, here we go. Kadarius completed his math homework in 1/3 of an hour. He had to complete 4 math problems. He spent an equal amount of time on each problem. How much of an hour did Kadarius spend on each problem? All right, so we know that he's doing some math. All right, and we know we have this 1/3 of an hour, except, I want to split that hour into 4 problems. So let's go ahead and do this. So I know I'm going to go back to my what and my how many, because I am definitely splitting some time. All right, so what is my what? This one's kind of tricky. So my what is my homework in my 1/3 of an hour. So I'm going to have my 1/3 of an hour, and I'm going to split it. So I'm going to divide it, because that's what that line means, by how many questions? By my 4 questions. Good. All right. So I have my 1/3 of an hour, which is my time, which is my what. What are we talking about? We're talking about homework. And it's my 1/3 of an hour, and I'm dividing it by my number of problems. So now we get to do that favorite thing that you guys like to do when we divide. and that is keep, change, flip. I know how much y'all love to do that. Your keep, change, flip. So I'm going to keep my 1/3, and I'm going to change my division. I'm going to find the inverse of division, which is multiplication, and I'm going to flip or find my reciprocal of 4/1 and change that to 1/4. Now we're back to what you guys love to do, and that is multiplying fractions. So 1 times 1 is 1, and 3 times 4 is 12, and then this would be minutes. So each question took 1/12 of the time. All right.